Now, Russia is being accused of a missile attack on a railway station in eastern Ukraine. The governor of Donetsk region says that Sunday's attack also hit a church and other buildings in Kostiantynivka. The town is north of the city of Donetsk, which pro-Russian forces have held for more than 10 years. Let's cross over to Rob McBride, who joins me now from Dnipro in eastern Ukraine. Hi, Rob. What more can you tell us about this particular attack, certainly what's been going on in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, it does seem to be all part of Russia's further push on Ukraine's eastern front. This is after the taking of this strategically important and symbolically important town of Avdiivka just over a week ago. We're now getting reports that the Russians seem to be trying to capitalize on that, push further ahead, with Russian claims that they've now taken 2 more villages beyond Avdiivka. Now, that's been disputed by the Ukrainians, who say that there is still fighting going on. They are still putting in counteroffensives against this push by the Russians. But we're also overnight seen an airstrike on the train station in Kostiantynivka. Now, Kostiantynivka is a fairly smallish town, but it's strategically very important. It's almost like a gateway beyond occupying this crossroads further into Ukrainian-held Donetsk. And it does seem as though Russia is trying to build on this victory in Avdiivka and with the ultimate goal of trying to take the whole of Donetsk region. Meanwhile, we're hearing further claims and counterclaims on Ukraine's southern front around Kherson, where there has been something of a counter-offensive by Ukrainian forces crossing the Dnipro River, with claims again by Russia that they are forcing back this counter-offensive, with claims by the Russians that they're taking a village there, the village of Krinky, which is on the left bank of the Dnipro River, which was claimed by the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians again disputing these claims of victory by the Russians.
And of course, when these things happen, eyes turn really to the defence minister in Ukraine, who might want to comment on what's going on. But he has been speaking, hasn't he, on Sunday? What's he been saying?
Yeah, I mean, all around these attacks by the Russians and what's been happening on the Eastern Front, we've had claims from Ukrainian politicians, from Ukrainian military leaders, that a part of the problem is a shortage of ammunition, in particular artillery shells, just not arriving in time from Western suppliers and backers. And this has been echoed by Rustem Umerov, the defense minister, Ukraine's defense minister, who has said that there are hold-up in delivery of ammunition from abroad. And that's all the more problematic, he says, given the ramping up of the war effort by the Russians and the greater amount of defense budget being put into this war by Russia. This is what he said at this forum on Sunday.
Since the situation is always dynamic, at the moment, commitment doesn't constitute delivery. 50% of commitments are not delivered on time. So which means that in the mathematics of war, we look to the enemy. Their economy is almost 2 trillion. They use up to 15% official and unofficial budget to the war, which constitutes over 150 billion US dollars. So annually, it's officially. So basically, whatever committed that doesn't come on time, we lose people, we lose territories.
On a more upbeat note, Umerov has said that the Ukrainian military already has in place its military plans laid out for 2024 to do what he says the possible and the impossible, all looking for that all-important breakthrough. But this seems all the harder to achieve while $60 billion in military aid is still being held up by this domestic dispute in the US Congress. Sahel.
Rob McBride there for us in Ukraine. Thank you, Rob.